والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. طيب. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وينفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. ربنا زدنا علما. ربنا زدنا علما. ربنا زدنا علما. طيب, inshallah, we're going to discuss, inshallah, some of the rulings and adab of Yawm al-Jum'ah and Salatul Jummah and the khutbah, and then we will open it up for discussion and just open questions regarding Jummah. Obviously, the hukam of Jummah, as we all know, is fardul ayn, but we're going to talk about some of these things in more detail. So my intention is, before Isha, we'll go a little deep, right, into some of the ahkam, go deeper so you guys can get a little extra understanding of Yawm al-Jum'ah, and then we'll come back out on the surface and talk about more of a practical, in our last like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, more of a practical Jummah Tarbiyah kind of thing, right? So we'll use this as an opportunity to kind of go deeper into regarding Jummah. Obviously, the hukam for Jummah comes in the Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha nudiya lis-salati min yawm al-jum'ah fas'u ila dhikrillah wa dharul bay'. Dhalikum khayrun lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. Now, the important thing to remember in this verse, actually, the ayah says fas'u, run, go quickly to what? What does it say? Ila? What's it say? Dhikrillah. So here it's important to remember what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling the Jummah. Remember this point, dhikr of Allah, because we'll actually come back to this point and it will give us more insight on some of the present or modern differences of opinion about one of the Jummah issues, okay? So the hukam for that, it comes from there. Then there are different ahadith. Rawahul Jum'ati wajibatun ala kulli muhtalim, that attending Jummah is a compulsory upon every male adult. Now, regarding who Jummah is fard upon, listen closely to this. Salatul Jummah hiya fardul ayn ala al-muqim fil mudan aw al-qara al-kabira al-qadir ala shuhudiha fala tajibu ala al-musafir wal-mar'a wal-marid al-ajiz an shuhudiha. So, first of all, Jummah is fard on who? It's important to know this. Jummah is fard upon a muqim, first and foremost, someone who's not a musafir, number one. And al-kabir, and not on a musafir or a mar'a. There are different ahadith or narrations that speak specifically. I'll just narrate a few of them. قال عليه الصلاة والسلام الجمعة واجبة على إلا على سبي أو مملوك أو مسافر. Clear hadith. Prophet ﷺ says Jummah is fard إلا على سبي, except on a child, because obviously, just like any legal ruling, children are not held accountable by law, right? So the Sharia is the exact same thing, that children do not have any, are not mukallif, qabl al-bulugh. Qabl al-bulugh, they are not mukallif at all. Now that's important to remember as kind of from the admin perspective sometimes. And it's important to remember if you're in a position of, control of different situations where you have to make hard, critical decisions. You have to understand first and foremost that it's not even fard on sabi. It's not fard on sabi. Now that's different from we want to train them, we want to get them learning it and all of that. But this is just the obligation of it. So who is it not obligatory on? Number one, al-sabi. Number two, someone who is a musafir. وَعَلَيْهِ إِجْمَاعُ الْأَئِمَّةِ الْأَرْبَعَةِ. And all of the four imams agree upon these things. This is agreed upon. Some more details regarding who it's fard upon. This is important. Number one, a male. Number two, free. Obviously now we don't have to worry about that, but he's not a slave. So classically speaking, if he was a abd, then he didn't have Jummah fard on him. A person in a city, living in a city. So if you live in like where Jose lives, there ain't no Jummah. If he's there, there's no Jummah. Like if you live out, way out somewhere, you know, some West Maryland, huh? They do? All right then. Alhamdulillah. But it's not fard though. Sound and healthy. So obviously, qadir ala al-mash. Yani he's qadir. He has ability to go to Jummah. And yeah, ability to go. So those are the main things. He's it's a he. It's fard. It's an adult. And he has the ability to go. Anyone else, they can go, right? They can go, but they don't have the obligation to go. And that's important later on when we get into more details of it. This is a book here I have by my one of my teachers. He put this book together. It's a really, really concise book. I have it here somewhere. Yeah, I put the PDF. You can send the PDF. It's this book here. It goes really briefly into all of these issues. Yeah, it goes into all these issues. It's pretty good, inshallah ta'ala. It goes through everything that has to do with Jummah. Let's look at a few more things. We're not going to go into the fadail of Jummah. That's not our maqsad today. It's not where the first Jummah was prayed. Actually, Jummah was prayed in Medina before the Prophet ﷺ. So Jummah began in Medina before the Prophet ﷺ had even arrived to Medina. They were praying Jummah. And the first Jummah of the Rasul ﷺ was in Masjid Quba. First Jummah of Rasul. It's all here. It's very interesting. But they were praying Jummah well before the Prophet ﷺ. Oh, one second. I think that's my voice echoing. Oh, assalamu alaikum. How are you, Kasha Bhai? Good?
Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
All right. Pretty good, alhamdulillah. Thanks for joining us, alhamdulillah. All right, so let's take a look at this. I just went over this. He has to be male, free, adult, in good health. There's a narration here. Al-Jummah haqqun wajib ala kulli Muslim fi jama'atin illa arba'a abdun mamluk aw imra'atun aw sabiyyun aw marid. Very clear hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Mustadrik, there's a longer hadith, and we're not going to go into that. To reside in a city, I just went over that. And Ibn Umar qala, la jumata ala musafir. Very clear, there's no Jummah on the musafir. Why am I spending time here? I'll tell you right now. When we're counting the jama'ah, you have to have a certain number of people who the Jummah is fard upon. If we have 100 kids and one adult, we can't do it. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment, because none of those people have Jummah lazim upon them.
So similarly, if we have 100 male adult musafir, it doesn't count?
I believe so. Yeah. Well,
like if you're
no.
If you're the only muqim and everybody else in this room is musafir.
No, the musafir is different from the sabi. Because once the musafir begins to pray in the jama'ah, and once he's there, then it's on him. It's lazim on him. The child, he could get up and walk away, and he doesn't have to do qada, nothing. The child, he's not, half the time, he's not even praying. Right? Allah gives you freedom until you know you have freedom. Okay, let's go forward. Conditions, this is important. Let's go through these. What are the conditions? Can you guys see? All right. Conditions for Jummah. The first condition, Jummah must be held in a city. We don't have to worry about that. The ulama, some of these don't apply, and ulama have a hard time dealing with these ones, which was when one city ended and then another city was in between, there were no cities. But now we go from like Baltimore, Catonsville, this. We never in between two places. We're always in a place, right? So this kind of is hard. A lot of fuqaha, as we discuss this issue, they're like, well, what are the boroughs? Is New York City a city? Is the Bronx a borough a city? Is all of those things, okay? So that's a different issue, but just wanted to bring that up. There's some narrations here to prove that, just so you can see the proofs here. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خمسة لا جمعة عليه الامرأة المسافر العبد الصبي وأهل البادية. You remember when Uthman said on Eid day, Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anh, he said, whoever wants to go back to the Badiyah can go back, but we're going to pray Jummah. And on Eid and Jummah, what do people say? Oh, you just do one. And the hadith, Uthman, he says, we're going to pray Jummah, but whoever wants to go can go. Because on Eid, everyone from the Badiyah would come to one place. So now Eid is over at what time? 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock? Are the people of Badiyah going to stay in the Misr? No, they're going to go home, but it's Jummah. What do we do? So Uthman is saying, go. Oh, we're praying Jummah because we're muqim in the Medina, in the city, but you guys can go home. So people get that mixed up sometimes. Not a big deal. Well, I mean, you should pray Jummah. But let's go forward, inshallah. Type, let's go forward. These are all the dalil, not going to dalail at all. Let's just go forward. There's no Jummah in Dar al-Harb. Alhamdulillah, we're not in Dar al-Harb. We're in Dar al-Aman, inshallah. Okay? This is Dar al-Aman, inshallah. We're in peaceful lands, alhamdulillah. Praying salat with congregation. This is important. This is important. Let's look at this. A congregation comprises of at least 3 people. And Tariq bin Shihab and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال الجمعة حق واجب على كل مسلم في جماعة. Now, here is the big deal. Once the Prophet ﷺ says fi jama'ah, we have to define that term. What is jama'ah? What is jama'ah? Fi jama'ah illa arba, same hadith as before. Now, this hadith indicates, let's look here closely. This hadith indicates, that Jummah can only be established in congregation. The scholars are unanimous. This is not just Hanafi, Shafi, this is ijma'. The scholars are unanimous that Jummah cannot be held without a congregation, because the word Jummah itself, Jummah means a jama'ah, okay? Jam'un, which means 3 or more of something. So in Arabic, you have mufrad, tathniya, and jama'. Rajul, rajulan, rijal, right? You have man, 2 men, 3 men. So jama' automatically in Arabic goes to 3 or more, not 2 or more. Okay, that's important because they have a dual in Arabic. They have a dual in Arabic, and they have a jama', and sighat al-jama' has to mean what it means. But the question is, how many people make up the congregation? Here's the difference of opinion. Let's learn this. Khilaf. There's a khilaf. The scholars disagree on this issue since there is no mention of any hadith the least number of people required to establish congregation. Although the Arabic word Jummah itself signifies 3 of something, meaning that according to the Quran or hadith, there must be at least 3 people to establish Jummah. So that's the basis of it. At least 3 people. Where's the khilaf? Does the imam count as the 3rd person? That's the khilaf. That's the only khilaf. You get it? So is it 2 guys and imam, or is it 3 guys and imam? That's the khilaf right there. That's it. So to solve that, let's just say whatever we want Jummah, we need 4 people. Okay? We need 4 people for Jummah. All right? And that's where that comes from. The next thing is there has to be a khutbah. Khutbah. This is important. This is the fara'id of Jummah. There has to be a khutbah. Now we will talk more detail towards the end on what exactly has to be. Do you have inna alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inu? What do you have to do? What is khutbah? We'll talk about that inshallah. Jummah is invalid without a khutbah, sermon. The Blessed Prophet ﷺ never led Jummah without a sermon. The conditions for the details will be mentioned in a later chapter. That will come later. We'll talk in detail about the khutbah. Okay. I just wanted to see something. Okay, next thing, the time of Jum'ah. So here, I just want to share one thing. ولا تؤدى صلاة الجمعة إلا بجماعة وأقل 3 رجال سوى الإمام لأن طالب الحضور إلى الجمعة بلفظ الجمع فاسعوا. سبحان الله. شوف دقة. If you have any like constitutional scholars, how they look at where the comma is, right? The whole Second Amendment is based on the comma. Where's the comma at, right? So if you look at the verse of Quran, this is deep. This is beautiful. Remember the page we were just on. Where's the Quran ayah? Give me 1 second. All right, look at this verse. SubhanAllah, this is beautiful. So the verse says, Yawm al-Jum'ati fas'aw. That word is how many? 3 or more. Fas'aw, it's a command. But if I say kashif, kum, that's you. Kuma, you too. Kumu, all of you. Kumu automatically means all of you. So the verse says fas'aw jama, not fas'a. You get it? You get the point? So they're pulling from that it has to be more than 3 people. You get it? You get what he's saying? So that's interesting. I just wanted to point that small thing out. Dr. Kash, have you got that point, inshallah? Is he still there? Okay, cool. No problem.
23.
But I shouldn't be on mute. He should be able to hear me. Okay. All right. Let's see. 23, page 23. Yes. So, we did this. There has to be a khutbah, and I went back to the Jummah part. Good. So next thing, the khutbah. I want to get to aqall al-khutbah because that's all we have time for in our Jummah.
The Prophet said Jummah should be afternoon.
Yeah, so let's get to that. So there are hadith. This happens sometimes. In some masjids, you'll find them praying before Zawad. Right? Now, it's dangerous because there is one opinion of Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal of it being allowed before that time. And I can give you the dalil for that. And if you looked at the dalil, you would probably go with Aimma Thalatha because we can look at one hadith here. Waqtu Salat al-Jum'ah, Waqtu Salat al-Dhuhr. First thing, the proof for it is that it's a badal or a substitute for Dhuhr. So can you pray Dhuhr before Dhuhr time? No. So how can you pray Jummah before Dhuhr time? Jummah is a badal for Dhuhr. And we all agree, it's muttafiq that you can't move Dhuhr before Dhuhr time. You can't pray Dhuhr at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So why can you move Jummah outside of the time of Dhuhr? That's just one of the opinions. فَلَا تُصِحُّ قَبْلَ وَلَا تُصِحُّ بِخُرُوجِهَا لَا أَدَاءَ وَلَا قَضَاءَ. And Anas, here's the hadith. And Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كَانَ يُصَلِّ الجُّمْعَةِ حِينَ تَمِيلُ الشَّمْسِ. حِينَ تَمِيلُ الشَّمْسِ. This is in Bukhari. There are no explicit. So sometimes, obviously, when scholars look at a hadith, they have to look at the implications of the hadith. So this hadith basically says, Anas bin Malik, the Bukhari, strong hadith. It's sahih, but it's not sarih. So it's authentic, but it's not definitive in its implications. So the hadith basically says, Anas says that the Prophet ﷺ used to pray Jummah hina tamilu shams, when the shams would mile huna, we say in Urdu, mile, leaning. So obviously, when does Dhuhr begin? Dhuhr begins as soon as the sun moves from its zenith. So for those Aimma Thalatha, it's a sarih hadith. Because Tamilu, once the sun moves from zenith, it's time for Dhuhr, time for Jummah. So, and Anas ibn and Salma ibn Aqwa. Okay, let me just tell you the hadith for Imam Ahmed, just so you have it just in your bank. Hadith is in many books of hadith that we used to pray Jummah and thumma nataghadda. Right? We would do nataghadda, right? Based on ghidha, meaning breakfast, futur, eating breakfast. Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal does istinbat, that means you could pray before Dhuhr time. We would pray Jummah, thumma nataghadda. We would pray Jummah, then we would eat. The word is taghadda, right? So he's using that implication. Oh, you can pray before Dhuhr time. It's kind of weak. It's kind of weak. But I'm not here to give, rajih, marjuh, any of that. I'm just giving you information. Right? You guys get his proof, how he proves it? Yeah. It's like me saying, yeah, we used to pray Jummah, and then after that, have a bite to eat. But then I say eat breakfast. We used to pray Jummah, then eat some breakfast. Oh, that means you can pray Jummah before lunchtime. Yeah. Come on, man. Like, it's kind of weak.
Because back home, we mean by taghadda is like lunchtime. Is what?
Yeah.
We mean with like 2 o'clock or
Now, استعماله يعني now it is. For some reason, Imam Ahmed is using that hadith as a dalil for doing taqdeem of Salat al-Jummah. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. Inshallah ta'ala. But I mean, Aimma Thalatha are all, no, it doesn't even count before. And I think in Haram, they still pray after. Yeah, they definitely pray. They don't take that opinion. Because then, like, the whole majma', the whole Haram's Salah isn't going to count, based on one opinion. So they don't normally follow that. You will find some masjids that do that, though. And what they'll do in other masjids, this is just for your information, like ICCL, they'll give a bayan, a wa'adh, right? And then they will have adhan, and then Jummah. Well, let's get to that. So the time of Jummah, let's look at this really quick. The time of Jummah is the same as Dhuhr. We just did this. I'm not going to talk about it again. And what time does it end? Asr, exactly. Let's go forward. There are many ahadith here. This book is full of dalail. Like that was my teacher's intention of gathering all of those dalail in one place. I'm gonna back up a bit.
Real quick, one question about that. So when you've got Jummah, I think some Masajid would pray Jummah literally, some minutes before Asr, and then it would essentially be you would pray Jummah and you would kind of get done, you'd wait 5 minutes and it would be Asr.
It's okay. It's okay if you have to. يعني it's not good to do it, but if you have to, I mean, al-dururat tabihu al-mahdurat. I mean, in a time of necessity, if you need to do that, and that's how you get people to still not miss their Jummah, then inshallah, I mean, there should be no harm in that. The next thing I want to talk about is, hold on, let's look at the table of contents. So those are the people those are the things that make it count. Those are the things that who Jummah is fard upon. Let's look at the next thing, which will be yeah, let's do this. 61. Let's talk about actually doing the sermon in the khutbah. Okay, let's do that. Page 61, inshallah, of the PDF. That's what we're really here for, is that part. Okay, it's page 61. All right, let's look at this. The first thing is important. You'll notice most of the imams do when they stand up for the khutbah, they give salam first. The Prophet ﷺ used to do that. Kana idha sa'id al-mimbar sallama. The Prophet ﷺ, when he would go on the member, he would say salam. So that's as-salam qabla al-kalam. Like give salam before you speak to people. So it's just adab to give salam first. So if you're here, I would still recommend that, we have the chair, you're going to give your khutbah, you stand up in front of everyone, you say assalamu alaikum, and then you just sit back down for the adhan, right? Okay, that's good adab to do. Here, إذا دخل المسجد يوم الجمعة سلم على من عند منبره من الجلوس فإذا صعد المنبر توجه إلى الناس فسلم عليه. Clear hadith. First, the Prophet would come in, he'd be praying as soon as anyone else. Then when he would go on the member, he'd give a general salam. Salam alaikum, everyone. Salam alaikum. And that's before the khutbah begins. Now, the imam obviously stands still when he gives the khutbah. It's not, these are the proofs. So let's go to something important. Can the khutbah be in English? Big deal, right? So there's two camps here. There's two camps. Very simple. One camp says Jummah khutbah is in place of the 2 raka'ah of dhuhr. You prayed 4 dhuhr. In Jummah there's 2, but there's 2 khutbahs. Those khutbahs are in place of those 2 raka'ah. Okay? So the ahkam of those raka'ah of those 2 khutbahs are the same for the 2 khutbahs of the 2 rak'ah. Understand that, inshallah? First side. The other side says no. Now?
Yeah, so somebody comes in and late, right? I mean, miss first or second.
So just like a person who, if you come to Isha late and you get the last rak'ah, you get everything before, right? You have to stand up and make it up, but you're still counted as there from one perspective, right? You're still counted as there.
You miss a khutbah, not the salah.
If you miss a khutbah and you catch the salah, you're okay. You're fine. You caught it. It's just like if you come, I'll give an example. If you catch ruku, you get everything before the ruku, right?
Yeah.
But you weren't there.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Same example. You get ruku, like we all run, get ruku. I got the whole qira'ah. I wasn't even there. Same exact thing. No. If you catch the salah, you got it. No, you got it. So here he's just talking about adab. Like you ever see the pastors when they speak, they're all in. So the khutbah, the Prophet ﷺ wouldn't move around a lot. He was more, it was more like controlled as compared to other times. Like there are other times where he was really into his khutbah. All right, let's go forward. Delivering the khutbah while standing. Look at this, it's important. يَخْتُبُ قَائِمًا. We all see this, so it's common knowledge to us, but I just want to show you the proof for it. There's no khutbah sitting down. The khutbah is standing. That's the way the Prophet ﷺ did. There's 2 dalils here. Let's go forward. Sitting in between the 2 khutbahs. So first khutbah, then he would sit down and stand up for the second khutbah. And we'll talk about khutbah, inshallah, in more details. Delivering a short khutbah. Here is a proof for those who say that you can't do it in English. All right? So it's agreed upon. Look at this. And Jabir ibn Samra kana Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kana Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam yakhtubu qa'iman thumma yajlis. He would give a khutbah standing, then he would sit. Thumma yaqum, then he would stand. Wa yaqra ayah wa yadhkuru. He would read a verse. He would remember Allah. Wa kanat khutbatuhu qasdan wa salatuhu qasdan. His khutbah was short. His prayer was short. People got to go back to work. No, seriously, no joke. That's the reason why people have. What's the verse say? فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله.
Can we disseminate that to us?
Oh my God, it's horrible, man. Horrible. So horrible. So let me anyway. So it was short, very short khutbah, very short salah. This is, and now let me tell you why. We didn't do it, but there's a hadith that says, "Man massal hasa faqad lagha." Whoever is playing around in Jummah, like with the carpet, he loses the reward for he gets it counts, but he loses the reward for the Jummah. So here's the thing. The ruling for Jummah is just like prayer. Once the khutbah starts, then there's no moving around, there's no this, there's no checking this, because the khutbah has begun. Right? So those who say English is khutbah, and you're giving a 30-minute khutbah, for many people who are man masal lagha hassa faqad lagha, he's sitting there like, you understand what I'm getting at? Right. For those who say khutbahs in Arabic, what you'll notice, they'll give a talk, and I'll show you the deal for that. They'll give an English talk. That's just a talk. Just a talk. You don't have to come to that, nothing. Then when Jummah actually starts, they give a khutbah in Arabi. They give an Arabic khutbah, which is considered those two first rak'ah, those two first khutbahs. Now in America, almost no masjid really does this anymore, though. Right? Most masjids don't do this anymore.
Where I grew up, they did, but
it's dying out. Unfortunately, it's dying out now.
But could you give one in English?
A khutbah? When I go to a masjid that doesn't know, then I do it in English, because it's fitna. Like, what's the sheikh doing today, right? It's fitna, right? So I do the khutbah. I give the minimum of a khutbah in Arabic, and I'll tell you what that is, the minimum, and then I give the talk in English, right? And then it's difficult because people want substance in their khutbah, right? They want substance, something they can walk away with. That's a good talk, very good, right? But then it's not supposed to be 30, 40 minutes long. Yes, I'm.
How come people don't talk with they don't do the khutbah?
Well, I'll tell you why. Exactly. Good question. The reason is this. And Sheikh Yassin has this opinion. Many others do. That it's for ta'aleem. The khutbah is for ta'aleem. To learn. To learn. Not just ibadah. So min haythiyah, if you ask him, he'll explain it this way. From one haythiyat is Urdu and Arabic, same word. From one haysiyat, min haythiyah, when one janib is ibadah, and from another janib is ta'aleem. So you speak it in the language of the people. But I've been in Arab masjids, whole majma Arab, English. Like, well, what's going on here? Like no Arabic out here. So what's going on? So there's two opinions there. Two opinions there, right? And that's important to understand. So if you go to, for example, ICCL, then they will give two Arabic khutbahs. They will give two Arabic khutbahs, right? Any other masjid in our area, they will give a khutbah in English. That's it. The khutbah in English, and that's your khutbah. And that's important to know, because when you come in late and it's khutbah, there's no assalamu alaikum, because khutbah began, right? Let's read a few more things here.
I'm guilty of that.
What, salams?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't give salam during khutbah. Yeah, there's no salam. It's like salah. It's just like salah. So if you're praying salah, someone says, assalamu alaikum, bro. What are you doing? I'm praying salah. Right?
What's proper etiquette?
Ignore the guy. And later, if you can, later. Well, there was a fight in my masjid. Well, not a fight, but like one of the janitor brothers, beautiful brother, Abu Nur, right? So he comes into the masjid, and Mufti Hussein, he's sitting there, and Mufti Hussein's beautiful brother, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. What? Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. He gets angry. He's so angry. You know, Assalam Sheikh. And then later, Sheikh Mufti was saying, you know, he talked to him, explained to him later. So, but it's hard to do. I know some. If you can't, maybe you just like, thanks for ruining my Jummah. I mean, it's okay, inshallah. All right, let's go forward, inshallah. So what were we talking about here? Short. Should be short. Yes, here's a beautiful hadith. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أن قصر الخطبة وطول الصلاة منينة من فقه الرجل. Like a sign of the fiqh of a person is his salah his salah is long, his khutbah is short. And the sign of a guy with a less fiqh is he gives this long talk and his salah is very short. You know, like he gives more time for his words than for the salah. So that's just an interesting hadith. Let's go forward, inshallah. Okay, here we go. Let's look closely at this. This is what everyone came for, right? And we got to go quick. Requirements for the sermon. It is known from the ahadith that the Blessed Prophet ﷺ began the sermon with alhamd. First thing that must be there is hamd. This is important. If you want to know just ayn, because we have 5 minutes for khutbah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, so main thing, hamd. Hamd. Inna alhamdulillah. Just say alhamdulillah. That's first thing. But the question is, what is one to do after that? The answer is explained in this hadith. قال كل خطبة ليس فيها تشهد فهي كاليد الجذماء. So تشهد. إن الحمد لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Two main parts done. Hamd and it's tashahhud. Okay? Another hadith, same thing. كان يستغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات كل جمعة. The Prophet ﷺ would do a dua. Oh Allah, forgive the believers and forgive everyone and forgive the men and the women and all of these things. And these are some extra things. The Prophet ﷺ used to hold a staff. If you go to some of the masjids, I won't say the groups, whatever, but you go to some masjids, they got that big stick. I saw some of the masjids, they still do that. The khatib, if you don't have that, you can't do Jummah, right? Okay.
That's very popular in the UAE.
Is it?
Yeah, every masjid you go to, no matter who the khatib is, who the imam is, going to have that staff. Wizard staff.
Yeah,
Wizard staff.
Nendorf, right? Okay, so main parts, you got it. Listen, alhamd and tashahhud. And extra things, salah ala nabi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Extra, right? But main parts, hamd and tashahhud. Khutbah's done. Tamam.
That's it.
I'm not joking. That's why I asked him, you want to have a class? I could text you guys what the It's just like, if you want to have a class. You want to know what you have to do? Hamd and tashahhud. That's it. That's the khutbah. That's all you have to, that's literally all you have to do. You can add to that. You can add salah ala nabi, dua for people. Allahumma fir lil mu'minin wal mu'minat wal muslimin wal muslimat al ahya minhum wal amwat. You can do all that. But if you want to know just what you have to do, inna alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abdu rasulah. Ittaqillah. Assalamu alaikum.
In both? Like in both?
Both. Now you have kids here, you want to add a little bit more. So, inna alhamdulillah. Shadu la ilaha illallah. We should love our parents and love our teachers. Assalamu alaikum. Sit down. Stand up again. Inna alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammad. That's all it's for. Everything else is sunnah.
Wow.
It's sunnah. Now I'm not saying sunnah like it's, we don't have time. Right? So salah ala nabi, dua, all those al-wa'ad is extra. All right, let's get some important things. This is a very good description of how the Prophet ﷺ gave Jummah. Like he was into it. Important questions. Properties adab of Jummah, not to move during the sermon. This is important. Look, here's the hadith. إِذَا قُلْتَ لِصَاحِبِكَ يَوْمَ الْجُمَعَ أُنْسِتْ وَالْإِمَامِ يَقْتُبْ فَقَدْ لَغَوْتْ. Look at the hadith. That's a strong hadith. I'm sorry. Here it is, yes. If you say to the person next to you in Yom al-Jummah, be quiet, unsut, quiet, and the imam is going khutbah, laghawt. You've lost the reward for the Jummah. That's why Mufti Hussein was like, not saying anything to him. The hadith.
So not the one who's talking, the one who tells him.
Yes,
Quiet.
yes. Yeah, imagine the guy who's talking.
Yeah.
Go home, dude. Stuff like that. Okay.
Just
That's Bukhari, guys. The hadith is Bukhari.
a lot of people don't know that.
I know.
You say in Jummah and people come and say salam to you, and it's like,
See, but part of it, I think, is the differentiation of what he's saying also, where you know, like, sometimes you don't know where the waz is starting and where actual people are giving.
I know people who know the ruling, and they ask me, is this guy giving a khutbah or is he doing a waz right now? Let me give you the dalil for the waz too. I want you guys to know, cutting through the rows. This is important. If you come to Jummah, don't cut through this stuff. Just sit. You lose a lot of reward for jumping over aqab and yani, right? You lose a lot of reward for that. Don't try to avoid that. Don't squeeze between two people. There's hadith about that. If you come, just sit down and don't take someone else's spot. He gets up to go to the bathroom. You're like, no, there's a hadith about that. Seriously, praying during Jummah. Oh, this is important. Okay, khilaf. Imam Shafi'i says tahiyatul masjid whenever you enter the masjid. Imam Abu Hanifa, he says no. Tahiyatul masjid except if there's some other reason. So if Imam is doing khutbah, no tahiyyah. If it's waqt mamnu' lis-salah, if it's a time you're not supposed to pray, no tahiyatul masjid. Imam Shafi'i says no, tahiyatul masjid is am. And this is a very simple principle for anyone who's a lawyer. Do you take the general and qualify it, or do you take the qualified and make an exception? Simple. That's all it's about. Do you make an exception to the general, or no?
I think there's a hadith like this is what they did. They said somebody came with
Yes, there's a long. We had class on this hadith for one week, one usbu'. On this hadith, we spent usbu' kamil. Like you're like, okay, طيب, bro. So basically, a man came in the masjid and he was really like poor state. And the Prophet ﷺ said to him while on the minbar, stand up and pray salah. But then he also did he raised money for the person. There's a long discussion on the hadith. Let's just go forward.
What about during adhan? So you said many people will come and do tahiyatul masjid when the adhan is going on.
Oh no, you should sit down because you're gonna get caught up in the salah. He's about to stand up and give khutbah, right? So no, then there's no salah. But it depends again. If you go to a masjid, you got to know the masjid you're going to. If they're giving adhan and then khutbah, then you come in the masjid, sit down.
No, I'm talking about the adhan for the actual Jummah.
So what about it?
No. Many people will come and pray. That's why I'm asking.
While the adhan is going on.
While the adhan. I have heard different opinion, but that's fine.
Yeah, wallahu alam. I have to look at that.
No, Hanafi say that if the Imam says salam, you even break your. If you're
Salam?
I guess, yeah.
Oh, if he comes on the member, you stop. Yeah, you stop. I want to get to one more important thing, brothers. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. So let's just, before we actually, what time is they pray at 8?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 1 second. Important ruling. Here's the big thing. Can Jummah be delivered in another language? The whole thing I just explained to you is all right here. But here's the thing. I am arba'a. Islam had already started spreading to non-Arab speaking countries by the time Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal, for sure. Islam had already spread. This isn't new. We think, oh, it's the first time this happened. No, Persia was not a Muslim. It wasn't Arabic speaking. So the Imam Malik's opinion is if there is no one who knows Arabic, no Jummah. Imam Abu Hanifa's first opinion is that if a person doesn't, if the whole masjid, no one knows Arabic, even in that situation, you can do English, but that opinion was, so Imam Abu Hanifa, he had an old opinion that you can even pray salah in English if you don't know it yet. If you don't know Arabic, you could do it. So based on that, he said it was also okay to do it in Persian. It was Persian at that time, obviously. Imam Malik's opinion, Rajih opinion, is if no one knows Arabic, no Jummah lazim. Because there's no one to fulfill the fard of Jummah, which is khutbah and salah, right? I just want to tell you that A'imma Arba. So A'imma Arba on this contemporary issue are pretty set. They are set that khutbah is in Arabic. They don't say it doesn't count. They just say makruh. But you can read this later. Share this document with everyone and you can read it on your own. But again, I don't cause fitna. If I go to a masjid where they don't do that, I'll do it that way. because it will be just as fitna to ashaddu min al-qatl. Fitna is worse than killing.
But you mean just fulfilling the part?
Oh, so let me tell you what I do. Let me tell you what I do. I'll give an English talk. At the end of it, I'll say, Inna alhamdulillah, shahadu an la ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah. What did I do? I did my khutbah at the end. I did my khutbah. No one knows here, but I'm at least fulfilling no one knows in the majma'. He just did dua at the end. Okay. No, I was doing my khutbah. The lazim khutbah. It's not a big deal. Where everyone's making dua, I'm just doing my khutbah. Okay, wait, let's look at one more thing. It's very important. Okay, so I just want to explain it to you. I'll just explain it to you. So see, Ahmed bin Hanbal here. It's all here. ولا تسخوا بغير العربية مع القدرة عليها بالعربية كقراءة. Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal's called. That's
So
no,
what
that's
do you mean right there? The sermon will not suffice.
so yes. It's written here in Arabic. لا تصح الخطبة بغير العربية. The khutbah is not sahih. It does not count بغير عربية, without Arabiya.
No.
If you have qudra.
No.
So that means if you can speak Arabic and you don't, and all of you know, Alhamdulillah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, if you have the ability and you don't, then, okay, going forward, Imam al-Hanbali, he says, it is impermissible to deliver the sermon except in Arabic if one knows Arabic, like the recitation. Oh, that's the exact same. Nafs al-shay. The Arabic is that thing. So all it's saying is if you want to read the rest, let's read the rest. You get it? Okay. Here it is. Okay. This is the last thing I want to talk about. Because some people think it's kind of bid'ah. Before the khutbah in many masjids, they give a waz, bayan, whatever you want to call it. They don't count that as khutbah. Why? They base it on this thing. Here. In the time of the blessed Prophet ﷺ, I'm reading from the second paragraph, learning and teaching were two essential aspects of the lives of the companions. Therefore, there was no need for talk. See, here's the big problem. When do we all learn deen? Jummah. Because we only learn deen Jummah, now we got to teach. The imam has to teach you in Jummah. But if we were having classes, then Jummah comes and it's like, suddenly it's a Jummah. Come on, let's go back. Go back. Do you get what he's saying? So because it became the only place of learning, then the imam started to say, well, I got to give my message here because I won't even see these people again. You get it? This is an important point to recognize. So he says it started with Tamim ad-Dari. In his time, he saw that need to educate people. He asked Umar bin Khattab if he would allow him to say a few words before the khutbah. In the beginning, Umar said, no. After that, Tamim would give talks until Umar appeared. So Tamim ad-Dari would give a talk, and when Umar came for khutbah, the talk stops. He says now. After that, yes, and this continued during the Khilafat of Uthman. Here's the narration if you want it. أول ما قص تميم الداري على عهد عمر استأذنه في كل جمعة مقاما فأذن له فكان يقوم قال ثم استزاده مقاما آخر فزاده فلما كان عثمان استزاده مقاما آخر فكان يقص في جمعة 3 مرات. He would give 3 talks on Jummah after that. Basically, there's the delil for that. Basically, so Tamim ad-Dari, the Sahabi, he used to give a talk before Umar would come up. So how do we do Jummah? Simple. Anyone wants to give the khutbah? Let's give a practical guide. Let's just say we're going to do the English style, okay? Because that's what everyone's used to. So you'll come the moment you sit down. There has to be a chair. There should be a chair there. All right, if there's no chair, tell someone bring a chair. No, bring a chair. There's plenty of chairs. Bring a chair, right? You come in, right? You sit down. All the kids are there. So, no, before you sit down, Assalamu alaikum to everyone, right? And they're kids, so tell them, say salam back, right? Say salam back. Yeah?
So the other question is, the khutbah should not be interactive, right?
Well, you're on you haven't started yet, but it shouldn't be, no. So assalamu alaikum. And for ta'aleem, at this point, for the awlad, ta'aleem, right?
Well, I say that only because they're kids.
Yeah.
You understand, like with adults.
Yeah.
So
then we sit down. Hold on, guys. We're running out of time. I'm sorry. And we could ask some questions after, inshallah. But so you sit down, right? The adhan is given. Now the adhan, where should the adhan be given? Right in front of the imam. That's the sunnah, right in front of the imam. So if the kid's over there somewhere, tell him, no, come here, right? Bring him over, and he'll give the adhan, right? After the adhan, stand up, right? You might have a little paper. I mean, haram, they have papers. Why can't you have a paper, right? No, haram, they're like, here's your khutbah. You don't say what you want to say here. So take your paper, have something. Inna alhamdulillah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abdur rasuluh. You can say, if you know a little bit more Arabic, I can type something out for everyone, a standard, and I'll send that to you. Very short. It will be like, Ya ibadallah ittaqullah. It's kind of long though. I'll just give a short. And if you want to say something like we should, respect and education is key, we should learn something, you only have 5 minutes for everything, right? And then you sit back down. Now is the dua time, right? Now is the dua time. You might want to say that, the dua when the imam sits down is accepted in your khutbah. Teach them that. You get it? So you sit down, let them make dua. You make yourself dua. It's the time of acceptance of dua. It's a very important time. Then you stand up and you give your last khutbah. Inna alhamdulillah. Remember, khutbah just means to you, hamd, tashahud. And then make a dua. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ أَقِيمِ الصَّلَاةَ. Let's begin the prayer. And you just turn over and the iqamah begins. Well, you don't turn around yet. You just make sure they line up and begin the prayer. So khutbah, and I'll type it up, but khutbah is just hamd, tashahud, and a dua.
There's just one problem now. We don't need 5 minutes.
Nah, this is still 5 minutes. It's still roughly. But just give a little talk in between.
It's revolutionary. I think you should write a book called 5 Minutes. I'm not
I think it would be a self-help, like,
Course
segment.
Is that 5-minute meditation before the 2 Arabic khutbahs or sort of?
So here's the deal. What do we want to teach the kids? And that's not my position really. So I'm not the imam of Tarbiyah, right? So I don't know what the admin. Do we want to teach 2 Arabic khutbahs? If so, let's do it. Let's teach them Arabic khutbahs. Give a short talk before, and then do 2 Arabic khutbahs, quick, snap, and pray. But the problem is then they kind of get confused later when they go out into the real world of the khutbah. But we're setting the foundation. So, all right.